Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm an organic gardener in Central Virginia. I grow mostly no-dig in ground, but I also have several things growing in containers and fabric pots or grow bags. And today what I want to do is to give my container plants a good shot of nutrition. What I'm going to use is Neptune's Harvest, which is a 231 NPK. And this is just going to be in supplement to what's already in the pots. I'm going to be fertilizing eggplants and peppers and leeks and a tomato plant and a whole bunch of potatoes. So let's go ahead and get to it. What you're seeing right here is one of my eggplants. This plant was really beaten up by flea beetles. And as you can see, there is spinosad dust on it. I've done a video on using spinosad for flea beetles. I really can't grow any kind of eggplant without using some dust on it. And as long as it's not flowering, I think it's going to be okay. Once they start flowering, you have to be a lot more careful. So what I'm doing is mixing about, 1/8 of a cup of the Neptune's Harvest into a gallon of water. Actually, this is about 1.5 gallons of water. It doesn't have to be a super revved up NPK. You're just trying to get some additional instant nutrition in here. Now, these pots have been well prepared already at planting time with a lot of compost and a good bit of organic granular fertilizer. And the plants were watered with fish emulsion when they went in to help them recover. I see a flea beetle on that as we speak. So I'm just going to give them, about a 3-minute dose. Trying not to get it on the leaves. You can get it on the leaves, but I'm choosing not to do the leaves right now because I don't want that dust to come off. Let's move next door and do my big 20-gallon container of leeks. Now these leeks were planted, oh my goodness, I think in April or maybe even in late March. Took them a while to get going, but they are definitely underway. And I'm going to go ahead and definitely give them a nice dose of this fertilizer. And I am going to let them have the do the leaves on that. I want to show you by comparison my other eggplants, which were not beaten up by the flea beetles to start. You can see quite a difference. These are the eggplant that were not as badly damaged, and you can see how much bigger they are. Believe it or not, all of these plants were planted, all of the eggplants that I showed you were planted at the same time in terms of the seed sowing process. So quite a difference. I think these got into the grow bags earlier. The others were left on the ground for a couple of extra days and they just got totally hammered. You can see that I've planted these eggplants and this tomato and these peppers almost like a little external barrier boundary around my lower garden. And just I'm thinking that more or less deer and critters are going to leave these kinds of plants alone. They don't tend to go after them. Beetles and blister beetles are the big problem. So these plants have been in these containers for about 1 month. It's now towards the end of May, almost the very end of May, and they are 1 month old. So soon they'll start setting out flowers, but they're going to get quite large. These plants here are Ashe County pimentos, started from seed indoors and planted out at the beginning of May. So they're going to get a nice dose of the fertilizer. And this one, I believe, is a jalapeno. Yeah, a yellow jalapeno. It's doing quite lovely. I'm beginning to get a little bit of rain here. We're getting a few little flip-flops of rain. I don't know what these clouds are going to bring. I don't think much, according to the radar. I really like the way this plant is coming along. This is a Mariglobe tomato, and it's got its first blossoms on here, right here. So that'll have some fruit set, I hope, pretty soon. Yep, this plant has been going since about the beginning of May in this container. This one I am going to go ahead and feed the leaves as well. It'll absorb in through the leaves. Liquid feeds will do that. I have one more. Oh, I forgot about this. This is a passion flower that's coming back from last year. The passion flower vine was quite beautiful growing up this external trellis last year. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a nice boost of nutrition because I know it's got a massive root system going on down there. I'm also going to throw in some more granular fertilizer and let that seep in over time as well. This will give it instant fuel. I have potatoes growing in many, many pots. And these are 20-gallon grow bags. They have Yukon Gold and also Purple Majesty potatoes in it. Were planted on March the 22nd. They're actually going to be, there probably are a few in there. They're starting to yellow a little and sort of droop some. And that's a sign that they're getting ready to be harvested. I would imagine in another, probably 10 days or so, they will look very different. And I've got 2 pots. These are 20-gallon fabric bags, grow bags. These beds were well prepped with organic fertilizer and a whole lot of compost at the start of the season. And I have been putting in the liquid feed, the liquid fertilizer, about every 4 weeks. Over here is a volunteer potato. It's got really pretty blossoms on it. The blossoms tell me that it is going to be, their tubers are starting to form in this pot. I use the Neptune's Harvest as instead of a very high nitrogen fertilizer like fish emulsion because these plants are already well established. I'm not trying to promote green growth. For the potatoes and the eggplants and the tomatoes, I'm really trying to promote root health as well as growing the production, the fruit, so to speak, or the vegetable. In the case of potatoes, the tubers. For new plants and new transplants, I will use fish emulsion to give those transplants a little boost to get over the transplant shock at planting time. So hey, if you love to garden and you love to grow your own food and you love to cook your own food that you grow, this might be a channel for you. So do consider subscribing, do throw a like down, and please comment. I love hearing from you, all my viewers, and I've enjoyed getting to quote unquote know people throughout the country and even overseas through this relatively new YouTube channel that I started. Thanks so much for watching. Hope your garden's growing well. Take care. Bye.